Hello and welcome back to Easy English with James. Today we're going to have a look at how to pronounce the brand names of famous cars, okay? This is not the real pronunciation, this is how British people pronounce these top 20 car names. To do that, what we're going to do is borrow from a poll done by YouGov, which asked people in England what their favourite car brands were. So this is the top 20 favourite car brands of people in the UK. And we're going to learn how to pronounce these car brands just like those people. Okay, stick with me. Okay, the first one, number one, and perhaps not surprisingly because it's a British-made car, it's a British car brand, is Jaguar. 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 Brits love this brand. This was actually rated number one. Again, I think it's probably because this brand is quite upper class. It's quite, if you own a Jaguar, you probably have a fairly good job. And it's also made in Britain. It's a British made car, so people here kind of love the brand, okay? So, Jaguar. Jaguar. It's got that schwa at the end. Jaguar. 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 It's named, and you'll know from the logo, after the animal, the jaguar, okay? And it represents sort of power and speed, which is what people who buy Jaguars are probably looking for, okay? Jaguar. Jaguar. Number two is Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce. Now, even you can tell by the pronunciation, those double R's, this car sounds top of the range, sounds elite, sounds expensive. Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce. Okay? That RR is very clever. Alliteration. Okay? Alliteration, when we use two sounds the same at the beginning of words, it's very catchy and it sounds cool in the English language. Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce. You might know this because the Queen of England often gets driven around the UK in a Rolls-Royce. So, as you can probably guess, Rolls-Royce is a very high-class, elite brand. Okay? You'll need a lot of money if you want to buy one of these. Let's practice one more time. Rolls-Royce. 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 Okay? They also make the engines for many airplanes these days as well. So, quite a accomplished brand. Number three is Mercedes. Mercedes. This is also a very highly thought of brand. That means people think this brand is very, very good. Okay, a highly thought of means very, very good. People think it's very good. It's a German brand, so the pronunciation that I'm giving you today is not how it's actually pronounced in its home country of Germany. I think that would be closer to Mercedes, okay? Mercedes. And in Germany, they might look at English people saying Mercedes as quite weird. But this is how a lot or most British people will pronounce this car. Mercedes. Mercedes. Do you have a Mercedes? You must have a good job if you've got a Mercedes. Which Mercedes is your favourite Mercedes? Okay? Do you like Mercedes? Leave a comment down below if you do. Okay, let's move on. The next one is a very famous British brand. It is Aston Martin. Aston Martin. Now, you might know my name is James. I don't know if I was named after the character, but James Bond, that famous 007 guy, he drives around very often in an Aston Martin. My favourite was the DB9, I believe. So Aston Martin, again, a British brand. That's probably why it's so liked in the UK. Famous for super cool sports models and cars that have all sorts of amazing gadgets and gizmos in the James Bond movies. Aston Martin. Aston Martin. Again, you'll need a lot of money if you want to afford one of these, okay? Aston Martin. Okay, and to round out the top 5, number 5 is another really expensive car. It is the Bentley. The Bentley, okay? If you drive a Bentley, everyone will assume that you either won the lottery or you have a lot of money, okay? A Bentley. It is a source of power and pride to have a Bentley in most countries, okay? And people in the UK think that it is a very, very top brand of car, okay? Very expensive and sort of elite, okay? Very important word to remember, elite. It means sort of the very top, okay? He's an elite sportsman. He's the best in that sport. Messi or Ronaldo are elite sportsmen. Nadal and Federer are elite tennis players. He's an elite academic in university. This is an elite brand of car, okay? Bentley. Okay, moving on to number 6. We have another German brand that I love. It's one of my favorites. It is the Audi. Audi. Do you drive an Audi? You might hear people say, I just bought a new Audi. You might hear people say, I just bought a new Audi A4. Audi. Okay, I know this one is often pronounced a little bit different in the USA, in America. I think some of my American friends pronounce this Audi, which is a strange pronunciation. Pretty sure in Germany it's also Audi, and it is a German brand again. So Audi. Ow, as in like I'm hurting. Audi. Okay, I kind of like the logo of Audi. I don't know why. I think it looks really, really cool. Audi. Okay, the next one, number 7. Everybody knows this car. It is probably the most famous sports car in the world. It is the Ferrari. Okay? Again, remember, this is British English pronunciation of this car. It's probably not pronounced exactly the same in Italy, its home country, but here, Ferrari. If you're driving down the street in a Ferrari, you've made it. You're a rich person, okay? Well done to you. Ferrari. I always wanted, when I was a little boy, I always grew up wanting a red Ferrari. It's like every young child, a red Ferrari is the first thing you think of when you think about a sports car, a red Ferrari. Talking of colours, what is your favourite colour? If you have a car, what colour car do you have? Write it in the comments. And if you could have any of these sports cars, what colour would you like them sports cars to be in? Leave a comment down below with your favourite car colour. I'd be interested to know. I'll tell you mine at the end. Okay, the next one is another British brand. It is the Land Rover. This one is owned by Jaguar, okay? That number 1 brand in the UK we learned was Jaguar. Land Rover, which is our number 8, is actually owned by them. It's part of the same company, Jaguar Land Rover, okay? Land Rovers are sort of famous for being off-road vehicles. They can drive on all terrain, that means type of earth. They can go on the road, off the road, up a mountain, along a beach. You'll often see adverts on the TV for these cars where they're driving through crazy places like volcanoes and dipping into the ocean or through a river, okay? They are powerful truck-sized cars sometimes, okay? And the British people like them because, again, they are uniquely British, and again, they represent that really rugged, strong and tough Land Rover car, okay? Land Rover. Interestingly, rover comes from the word to rove around, which means to sort of explore and to go places. You'll notice that when we land something on another planet, it's the Mars rover is the vehicle that NASA landed on Mars to go and explore Mars, is the Mars rover. So this brand, the Land Rover, takes that name as a car that you can go anywhere, you can explore anywhere, you can rove around, okay? The Land Rover. The next one. Now this one, very important. In British English, we pronounce it Porsche. 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 Okay, but I do know that in Germany, where this car is also made, there's an extra sound on the end. There's an English schwa sound, Porsche, Porsche. And I believe in America too, they also say Porsche. But in the UK, almost everyone will see this name and say Porsche, Porsche. Okay, it sounds a little bit like the English word for posh, which again means that somebody has a lot of money or a good job or speaks in a certain way. Porsche. Again, very, very famous brand. And if you have one of these, it usually means that, again, you have a pretty good job and you're doing pretty well in life. A Porsche. I have a Porsche. He has a Porsche. Do you like my Porsche? Okay. Porsche. And to wrap up the top 10, number 10 is an American brand, very, very famous. It is Ford. Ford. This is one of my favorite brands actually for just driving family around. It's their cars like in England we have the Mondeo, the Fiesta, the Ford Focus. They're all cars that everybody knows, very, very common on UK streets and usually driven by families, you know, to take your children to school or so on. Really comfortable, very, very nice cars. Ford. 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 Now, as you probably know, Ford was founded by the very famous American, Mr. Henry Ford. And his vision was for cars to be owned by everyone, okay? At that time, nobody really had a car. So as I said, it's very common on UK streets. It's very, very common over in the USA too. So his dream to give everyone the chance to own a car is pretty much true these days, okay? Well done, Mr. Ford. 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 Make sure you get that F. Ford. Another really famous sports car that most of you will know. British pronunciation for this is Lamborghini. 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 Now I'm pretty sure that in Italian it's not quite the same as that. It's probably closer to Lamborghini or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. But Lamborghini in British English, okay? If it's driving down the street in the UK, somebody might say, "Wow, that's a really nice Lamborghini." Now this one also has a nickname in English, okay? It's so popular and so well thought of, again, well thought of as a sports car, that most people will just call it a Lambo. A Lambo. You'll find a lot of people say, when I get rich, first thing I'm going to do is buy a Lambo. When I get rich, the first thing I will do, or I'm going to do, is buy a Lambo. Okay? Lambo. Lambo is short for Lamborghini. A Lamborghini. Try again. Lamborghini. 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 Okay? Okay, and number 12, another British brand, although now owned by Germany, now owned by a German brand, BMW, is the Mini. Okay, Mini. This is an iconic car. And most people, when they think of cars in England, will probably picture a Mini with the UK flag on the top. Okay, they're common around the English streets. And again, they were a British-born company, but they're now owned by BMW in Germany. The Mini Cooper, one of the most famous cars in Britain, okay? The Mini. Mini, of course, means small. Mini means small, and it is a small car. They do larger cars now, but most people, when they think of the Mini, they think of that really small, tiny car that is iconic in the UK. Mini. Mini. Okay, the Mini. Number 13 is the Honda. Honda. This is a Japanese brand, and Japanese car brands in the UK are often very well thought of because people believe they are very reliable. Very reliable. That means that they don't break very often. They don't break down, okay? You can keep them for many, many years, and you don't need to spend much money repairing them or fixing them or making them better. Honda. Honda. Okay, you'll see them again quite a lot, especially around London and the southern cities. Honda. He drives a Honda. Honda. Okay, number 14 is the Volvo. The Volvo is the ultimate family car, okay? If somebody said to me, I have a Volvo, I instantly think, mum, dad, 2 children, dropping the kids off at school in the Volvo, okay? Volvo is a Swedish car company. Volvo, okay? And in England, people like these cars because they're kind of the perfect family car. They have everything that a family needs in a car. The Volvo. Double V's. Volvo, okay? Volvo. Okay, and for number 15, the last one of this group of 5, 15 is one of the most famous brands of cars in the whole world. We've already talked about it. It is the BMW. BMW, okay? BMWs, everybody knows them. They're a super famous brand and they're one of the most highly thought of brands in all the world, okay? German made, again, German company, and quite easily, we just pronounce the 3 letters in English exactly as you would read them. B for B, M for M, and W for W. But we tend to try to pronounce this really quickly. I'm not sure why, but nobody says BMW. They kind of try and say them as if they're one big long word. BMW. So watch how closely. BMW. BMW. Do you have a BMW? He has a BMW Z4. Wow. BMW. BMW. I think in Germany, this stands for the Bayerischen Motorenwerke or something similar to that. Again, which literally means sort of engines made in Bayern, in Munich, okay? BMW, okay? If you own a BMW in England, again, usually you're a pretty cool guy. BMW. BMW. Okay, moving on to number 16, another German car. We have the Volkswagen. Volkswagen. Again, these are really popular cars, especially amongst new drivers in England. Young men, especially, who are just starting to drive for the first time after passing their driving test, might have a Volkswagen Golf, okay? Young women sometimes will go for the Volkswagen Beetle. Golf or Beetle, Volkswagen, okay? British English pronunciation here is very different to the German pronunciation, which is the real pronunciation of this word. In English, in British English, Volkswagen. Volkswagen. A wagon literally means a car. It's an old word for car in English. Wagon. Volkswagen. In Germany, I believe they pronounce it Volkswagen with the complete switch round of V there. So Volkswagen. And again, in Germany, it means people's car. People's car. In English, it kind of has the same feeling. We recognize it as people's car. Folk in English means people, and wagon means car. So people's car. Same in German and in English. And again, as I said, the Volkswagen in England is a car normally used by, I don't want to always say boy racers, a lot of people who like to drive quite fast around the streets. They might be racing around in a Volkswagen Golf. And again, new drivers will like to drive in a Volkswagen. Volkswagen. Okay? Volkswagen. Number 17 is Toyota. Toyota, another Japanese brand, one of the largest manufacturers of cars in all the world. I think 10 million cars per year they manufacture. So huge brand. Toyota, again, in England is famous for its reliability. They are reliable, okay? Very promising brand if you want to keep your car for a long time. Very precisely engineered, okay? People often think Japan, futuristic, wonderful technology, very precise. That is Toyota, okay? Toyota. Toy, you probably know the word toy. Yota, Toyota. Toyota. Okay, number 18 is Nissan. Nissan is another Japanese brand. Very easy to pronounce. Nissan. Okay, most people in England will just say, that's a Nissan. You drive a Nissan. I just bought a new Nissan. Okay, what do you think of my new Nissan? Okay, Nissan again, famous because it's Japanese and people think Japanese quality means that it is very reliable. Nissan. Nissan. Number 19 is Vauxhall. Very, very common car in England. Okay, another car that lots and lots and lots of people will have as their first car. My first car was a Vauxhall Corsa and then a Vauxhall Astra, okay? Very common for learners or people who are just new to driving to get a Vauxhall, usually a Corsa, okay? Vauxhall, a British brand again, or at least somewhat of a British brand. You'll find if you go to Europe, it has a sister brand owned by the same company, Opel. So if in Europe the same cars have a different name, they don't even sound remotely the same. If a Vauxhall in European countries would be an Opel, and in England we call it a Vauxhall. They are very, very popular, and again, not good or bad, but number 19 on this list, so people must like them. Vauxhall, a Vauxhall. Do you have Vauxhall in your country, or is it Opel in your country? Let me know in the comments down below. Vauxhall. Finally, number 20, the last one on this list today, is another one that British speakers might pronounce a little bit differently to Italian speakers, where this car is from. In Britain, if you own this car, you're probably a pretty cool guy. Again, very, very rich. It is Maserati. Maserati. I have a Maserati. Okay, if I had a Maserati, I'd probably walk around saying, I have a Maserati. I have a Maserati. Or I've got a Maserati. I've just bought a new Maserati. Okay, I think the Italian pronunciation is probably closer to Maserati or something like that. Again, I may be wrong, I don't speak Italian, but Maserati in British English. Okay, so you can see they are the top 20. They're the top 20 cars, or what British people think are the top 20 cars. You will see all of these cars around England. Some of the more expensive sports cars you will see a lot of more in London, where there's a few more people with money, but your Vauxhalls, Toyotas, Hondas, you'll see driving around all the time in England, okay? So if you come to England, watch this video again, make sure you've got the pronunciation right so that people can understand which car you mean. And remember that Vauxhall in Europe is Opel, okay? Finally, I want to know what your favorite is. Which one of those cars is your favorite? If you could have any car on that list, which one would you have? And what color would you have it in? Write that in the comments below and let me know, okay? My car is actually not on this list, but I'm going to do another video all about that sometime in the future. From this list, I think I would probably choose a Mercedes, okay? I like a nice silver Mercedes. What about you? Okay? Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos that are going to help you to really improve your English. And that's it. I'll see you for another lesson. Bye-bye.